out of play. It is over! It is over! The LA Galaxy are once again Major League Soccer's champions! Number 6 for the Galaxy.
By now, the LA Galaxy fans have gone through all of the stages of grief, and the season's not even halfway over. At the time of recording, the former MLS Cup Champions of 2024 are sitting quietly on the bottom of the West. After 7 matches, this team sits winless. Statistically, this is the worst start by any reigning MLS Cup champion ever. Not just in the last few years. We're talking all time. Being defending champions should come with some perks. Confidence, swagger, just to name a few. With the questionable moves that were made, or weren't made I should say, by teams like NYCFC or the Columbus Crew, I wasn't expecting to see LA Galaxy, our defending champs, sitting on the bottom. The injury report has looked more like a CVS receipt lately. Riqui Puig, the midfield maestro, tore his ACL at the end of last season and even missed their cup final. He's still out today. Without him, the midfield has shown no signs of life. His loss is deeply felt both throughout the play on the pitch and in the locker room. The former Barcelona wonder kid was eyeing the start of a potential LA Galaxy dynasty. Now I'd be shocked to see this team even make it to 500. Joseph Paintsil was another major loss LA was dealing with for a while there. Last year's 10-goal and 10-assist 27-year-old machine was vital to their success. His injury for sure has hindered his play, as since he's returned, he has not looked like his former self. While Gabriel Peck is also out, Paintsil saw the start recently against Real Salt Lake in a crushing 2-0 defeat. His contribution wasn't spectacular, but one could also make an argument that he was rushed back into play coming off an injury, as he totaled 59 minutes of play. Marco Reus's knees are also constantly reminding both us and him that he is no longer that 25-year-old German maestro he once was. It feels like he has missed more games than he's actually played. Galaxy fans go back and forth on what to do with Marco. One could say the deal cost him Delgado, but it did help you get that 6th, even though you're already kind of heading that way anyway. At the end of the day, I'm not blaming him for a lack of trying or even a lack of effort. This is simply just his body aging, and it's starting to catch up to him. Even take a look at Yamani. Their usual consistent right back has been so on and off lately due to a couple ongoing injuries of his own. At this point, the Galaxy might want to just bubble wrap their entire starting lineup. Not having the depth to replace these guys has been the LA Galaxy's biggest hurdle so far this season. And of course, there are the newcomers, but it's going to take time for these young players and new guys in the locker room to, gel into the system and adapt to this new style of play. But one has to wonder, how long is it going to take for management to step in and acknowledge that there's a serious problem here if they want to make the postseason? A lot of this is going to fall on management, as it usually does. Take a look at a guy like McCarthy. A huge part of this team's defense last year is not a starter now. Well, at least not every game. Greg Vanney just pulled the carpet from underneath him, and I really have a hard time justifying that move. You don't have to be a superstar at every position, okay? But being consistent and a reliable member of the back is something that this team needs very, very badly lately. Key players left in the offseason, and these new guys are showing more mystery than mastery on the pitch. Joveljic, who scored 15 times in 28 games in 2024, packed his bags for Sporting Kansas City. Brugman, the midfield anchor, moved to Nashville SC, where he now spends his days watching Galaxy highlights and feeling very grateful. Huge parts of your 2024 Cup team just tossed aside. It's terrible and a punch to the gut without a doubt for both the fans and the players themselves. It's all eyes on Greg Vanney, but to be fair, it's kind of hard for him to run coaching drills and practice sessions when half his team is injured and the other half can't complete 5 passes. If you want to talk about tactics, we'll talk about tactics, because tactically, this Galaxy team has been very disjointed. The defense leaks goals like a screen door on a submarine, and the attack has had all the cutting edge of a spoon. Greg Vanney has preached patience, but patience doesn't earn points, and this team has already missed out on a damn near 20 points this year so far. A lack of urgency and a lack of caring is going to be what really holds this team back. These elementary mistakes that they continue to make are going to make this a very, very long season. At this point, the Galaxy aren't just underperforming, they are unrecognizable. The injuries aren't going to the bench warmers, they are to the spine of this team. Sources close to the team report that spirits are low. Vanney is trying to remain positive in the media, but there's a quiet tension brewing behind closed doors. You just know it. Veteran leadership is needed, badly. But when your veterans are either injured or underperforming, who steps up?
I don't want to. But I've got a gun. I don't care. That doesn't make any sense. Too bad.
The front office has been suspiciously quiet, probably hoping that things will just course correct, but if this slide continues into May, expect big changes going forward. I'm talking coaching shakeups, I'm talking early DP signing announcements, and maybe even some fire sale transfers. You gotta remember this team is also being hogtied by Major League Soccer's salary cap rules, but you can't blame them for that one alone. This is Major League Soccer, where parity reigns and wild turnarounds happen yearly. If Pooch comes back in May and finds form quickly, if Paint Silver rediscovers his pace, and if Royce can even give 60% of the player he once was, the Galaxy could claw their way back into playoff contention. The longer they sit at the bottom, the more unlikely this will be, though. The more realistic scenario is 2025 is going to be a harsh lesson. For now, the LA Galaxy are a paradox, a team built for prime time performing like an afterthought. The fans are waiting, the league is watching, and the clock is ticking.